I was able to watch Hathaway's Flash. It was a really good movie, definitely worth watching. And I can't wait to watch it again when it comes out on Netflix. I think it was July 1st or something. Because honestly, like all Gundam movies, there's a lot of political situation, relationship, a lot of expose, a lot of things that were explained in the movie, and it wasn't easy to follow. You had to really focus. At parts, it could get pretty confusing. For example, like I would take a sip of the coffee, I'd turn around, and then by the time I turn back, I would be like,
what's going on? How did he get that? How did that happen?
Just like any other Gundam movie, you kind of have to rewatch it, which is a great thing that it's coming out on Netflix, that you can rewatch it. Music is great. The same composer as Gundam Unicorn, narrative as well. I think he's a great UC Gundam composer, Sawano Hiroyuki. Work well with the movie, with the Gundam, with the UC Gundam. So sound design is also really amazing, exceptional. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there's scenes when Penelope Gundam shows up and you hear this hovering sound, like this shrieking hovering sound, and it really goes well with this sort of demonic looking design of Penelope, and everything feels very congruent. Everything feels like it belongs in the world of Gundam. I'm sure a lot of people like me probably had a little bit of concern of how the design of the mobile suits in Hathaway's Flash are a little bit bikier, looks a little different from Gundam, and you worry like, how is that gonna look in the Gundam world? And this movie is more of a human movie, less of a robot movie, which I think is a good move. Previous movies, you can definitely see some of the insecurity from Bandai or Sunrise or toy sellers trying to sell the robots, so it's mostly a robot movie, but this movie is more of a human movie. You actually care more about the human interaction. The robot takes a back seat, and it has become sort of a supporting elements of this movie, and I think it's a really good choice. And there's some great scene of the mobile suit battle, which you see from the human perspective. Instead of showcasing how cool the robots are, you're more engaged. The emphasis on the battle effects to the civilians on ground it's a big part of this movie, and I really enjoyed it. It's nice to see mobile suit battle from the civilian, and I like most part of the movie. Towards the end of the movie, it was a little bit weaker. I don't think the ending was that great, but again, this is the first movie of the three. It's made to set up the whole world of the Hathaway universe. It does feel a little bit like a prequel, and I would say just a little bit too much talking, a lot of expose. Try to explain the plot with different characters. Of course, the movie can be confusing, so I just didn't have the patience to sit through some of the talking points. Hopefully in the future movie, the two movies, it would be more simple. For those people who know Jollibee, shout out to Jollibee. There's a good 3 to 4 minutes Jollibee product placement to look forward to. I love Jollibee. I'd be really happy to see a good cameo of Jollibee product placement. Pretty prominent. You're not gonna miss it. We're finally getting product placement in Gundam, just like Hollywood. So on the graphics side, everything's drawn perfectly. Love the production. It's a high production anime, not like some of the crappier anime I've come across these days, which I have no interest in watching. I think they understand how people dislike the CG Gundam. People do prefer hand-drawn Gundam, so you can still tell, but they're able to hide some of the more key shots. I personally prefer the hand-drawn instead of the 3D CG Gundams. I guess it would have been too expensive to draw it in hand-drawn, but it just does look. It looks a little too perfect when it's a CG Gundam. Something off about it. It kind of takes you out of the world of the anime. And there are a few parts of the story that makes you like the Penelope pilot a lot as well. It's gonna set up a good rivalry between Hathaway and the Penelope pilot. I would say overall, I really enjoyed the movie. If they could somehow do less talking and still be able to explain the movie, I think it would have been better. Less talking, more fighting, but this is a Gundam movie. There's gonna be a lot of complex relationship. Get excited. Let me know what you think if you've seen it. Let me know when you see it. That's it. I'll see you guys next time.